Okay, so alrighty guys, my name is Zach Spross, Dallas, Texas, just checking in saying what's up. I'm going to show you guys a few things about the gear. So you can see I got a lot of stuff in the trunk, but I'm just going to show you a few things. Someone posted about how they wear their, how to take around the 8400, 8600 Pros. And I mentioned I use a belt, and I actually use my belt for everything. So I'm going to show you guys from the ground up. Okay, so it just stays like this at all times. This is actually a think tank. Holds my 70 to 200 sometimes, but recently, more recently at least, I have been carrying around a little Speedlight. This is a Flashpoint 8602, something like that. Anyways, not 8600, 8200, 862. Yeah, sorry. And that guy, I keep the feet on it. It just slides in here, and I turn the feet sideways so that when I'm walking upstairs, it doesn't kind of get you, but it's not terrible. Okay, so next, I have my R2 Pro 2 trigger, and this has a little peak. It's actually made for GoPros, but we got a this guy slides in here, and this is a peak clip. So yeah, peak clip for the GoPro, and then also peak clip, I hope you guys can see this, peak clip for the on the belt that stays on there at all times as well. And you can see I got this little thing hanging here. I use play memories on my phone for the Sony cameras. You can see my camera there, and that pops right in here. So far, everything is all right here. Next up, we're going to pull out the, and this is my everyday setup. I actually use this every single day. So got the 8400, and as I mentioned, I took off the holder down here. So normally you've got a, this is for your stand, and it would sit on the stand in whatever direction you want. I took that out and I screwed in, similar to the SlideLITE. This is a cheap one, like 99 cents, something like this, for this guy. And that pops into a belt clip, also a cheaper version of the spider clip. Just like that, and it hangs like that. So yeah, I've got, you know, it relatively limited movement besides the phone. The phone can be kind of annoying. I just sling it over there and then it can't move as much. But I also like to be able to bring it as close to my face as possible without it getting in the way. So that's that. I've got one more spot for peak stuff. That means I could put that here if I wanted. You know, that's the best part about the peak stuff. You really can do anything with this once you've got the clips set up. And I've got the clips, one second, on my peak bags as well. So I mean, sure, that I wouldn't normally do this, but you can see you can just put things anywhere. So peak clip on the bag, take it off, R2 Pro. Now this really does stay right here. What this is actually for is for my iPad, which slides right in there, pops in and out. You can see you got some beautiful super glue on the back of this OtterBox case. This had, so I just put a cheese plate on this, and the cheese plate allows me to screw it. This is actually the Ronin S little riser. It's got some 1/4-20 holes, I think that's what it is, and just put another peak clip on that. So yep, iPad slides in there. Those guys can go in any direction, even though that wouldn't really hold up very well, but you could do it. So next, let's see here. Yeah, this will be for the camera. So I actually keep this on the camera at all times. I have posted this in the group before. And yet another peak clip on the 8200. This is 8200 right here. Peak clip on one of the sides. It's got its, this is a slinger, they call it. Anyways, it's like 20 bucks, Adorama. You got other ways you can mount this and hold it as well. This is even like a belt strap loop if you wanted to do it that way. I'm not a big fan of that. This little strap up front holds the cable, this little cord, but I just tend to wrap it around and throw it in the bag. So this guy, and check this out. So I really like this. On the bottom of the tripod, I added a peak clip, Pro. I don't know. Anyways, the difference is that it has a 3/8/16 mounting on the bottom, and so I screwed it into the tripod with like a little adapter. And so here we go. I'll just clip that in. So I mean, I've got this little thing underneath the tripod, so really I could throw it in there in the past, and I have done that. But when you're carrying around your tripod from shot to shot, you don't want any movement. At least I don't. So now for this little setup, I'm a Sony shooter, so naturally I have a Canon trigger. So anyways, that's just so I don't lose my live view. Hopefully I'm getting focused so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Yeah, so we've got Canon trigger. This is the R2, just the R2, R2C, I guess. And then this is a receiver on top. The receiver doesn't have any actual mounting points. Let me take it off real fast, but it does have a /20 on the bottom, so you could screw that on to anything, even these L brackets if you wanted to put it there for whatever reason. So but yeah, there's actually no contacts, so you don't have to have it on top of this. The reason I have it on top and have kind of built this little rig is so it's because I have to have the cable going from the receiver into the A7R3, so in order to trigger the camera. So that's kind of the way that this works, and I'll talk about that in a second. So all right, here we go. So this guy, yes, it is extremely tall. I know that. Is it awkward? A little bit. It ends up being very similar to a Speedlight. So wait a second, Zach, why do you have a trigger on your belt and a trigger on the camera? Well, I'll tell you that also in just a moment. Be patient, okay? Be patient. So here we go. This little cable is just a sync cable to a multi cable. And so this pops into the receiver sync hole, a sync slot. And, you know, this is, yeah, R2 receiver. That pops in there. And guys, this is what you'd want if you were ever using like Young Now, however you say that. Any other brand, Elechrome, I'm choosing the ones that I don't know how to say. You know, Godox, Flashpoint, Cheetah, they'll all work together, but for, you know, even if you wanted to use, from what I understand, the B2s, I can't even think of the brand name. Wow, that's sad. Sorry guys. Anyways, so I digress. This is how you trigger any other brand of flash with the R2 system. That's what I meant to say. So here we go. Multi-camera, that pops into the R2, sorry, to the A7R3. There we go. And so now I've got everything all together. Now what this is, and I guess I didn't even explain this, 8200 with the extension cable, and that runs up here. And usually I don't have it this tangled. I have it out here. So that's that. And yeah, this is the the head on this is the round head for it, keeps it nice and together. If I needed to bounce behind me, you guys can see just an easy little twist, and just so y'all know, they can even turn just like a Speedlight sideways. And you know, for the reason that you would need to do that, who knows, but I could. So the only thing it doesn't do is turn completely around, which, it does turn completely around. Wow, okay, I learned something today. I can't believe that. Okay, it turns around, and you'll just hear it click. So sometimes I'm wondering, like, why doesn't this thing, you know, in the past, why doesn't this thing grip? And that's because you don't have it twisted all the way. You see, you can hear the click there. So, all right, now, so why do I have this? I have this because I'm using 3 flashes, right? And the R2 is just terrible for controlling multiple files. I could not even imagine controlling my flashes with the R2. So we got the R2 Pro down here, and super easily I can hit on, turn this guy on, and if you guys don't have the 8400, this is what I would suggest over even the 8200 if you're just starting out. It is expensive, but this is going to get you everywhere you need to be for a while at least. So this is what you get in the box. I keep this on, just it's like a little diffuser, beauty dish, whatever they want to call it. Nice and compact, really just to protect the bulb. If I were to hit something on accident, you know, and again, it is on my waist. Someone posted that there's a chance that I would hit something, but really I'm pretty good about my spatial awareness, so I'm not going to hit anything like that, just because of how often I've used this setup. Maybe in the beginning you're like, oh crap, you know, but just line it up properly. If you keep it next to you, as long as you don't walk around really weird, then you're going to be fine. So yeah, again, onto the R2 Pro 2. I've got all my channels here. Hopefully, again, y'all can see that. And so I can change, I've got this guy set up to C. This flash in here, I call this my bathroom flash. This goes in all the small bathrooms, butlers' pantries, little places that are just kind of in the distance that don't need a ton of power, but could benefit from a little bit of light. So that's that. And then I throw that guy up. This is set to A. I've got this guy, the 8200 on B, and then this is on C, and so I can easily change my flashes from anywhere and trigger them from anywhere as well. And let's get a little bit of a test there. Bing! All right, y'all see that? I'm sure you do. Awesome. So that is that. Okay, for the last thing, sorry to make this video so long. I was really just trying to show off the 8400 and the 8600 Pro, which I'm going to pull out now. Okay, again, everything I do is on peak, and so this is a peak strap. The case that I got for the 8600, I actually bought the 8600 from Adorama. It was on sale, and it was like on sale with the extension head. I didn't really need the extension head, but I'm like, whatever, I'll buy it. And so I did, and then like a week later, the 8600 Pro went on sale with the extension head, and I'm like, well, okay, it was like $100 more. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with that one. And so at that point, I obviously don't need 2 8600s. I already had an 8600, so now I got 3. I'm like, okay, I just need the Pro, I need the 8600 that I already have. I've had it for like a year and a half now. So I'm like, well, I can't return that one. So this is what I decided. I kept the bag. I don't think Adorama was very happy with that. I kept the bag for the 8600. And just so y'all know, I keep it wrapped up like that. So it takes up really minimal space. that's it next to the 8400, kind of. And so anyways, let's unravel this. There we go. Okay, so yeah, again, this is the bag for the 8600, the XPLOR 600 if you're in the Adorama ecosystems. Flashpoint versus Godox, same thing. Okay, so if you open up this zipper bag, you've got the 600 Pro, and I was mentioning earlier I took off the grip that this comes with. It has a grip, sorry, I'm all over the place here. It has a grip similar to this, and I took it off because it goes in my bag a little bit better without the grip on it. So this guy slides in, and you can't take this off because, hopefully I don't pull that. Okay, I'm just gonna grab it. Too scared. This has the power button right here. So yeah, you cannot take this off because it's connected to the power button, and I wished I could, but just to be exactly like this, because on this one, wow, I got too much stuff in my hands. On the 8400, you can take off the light stand mount. On the 8600, you can't. Now, you can also take off the grip for the 400, but I don't want to. I actually really like how easy this is to use. I just hold it up like that if I'm in a separate room, or angle it, you know, whatever I gotta do. It's really, really easy to manage. So that slides in there. I'm gonna take it off because I'm gonna show you what I would use for my 8600 Pro. And I do, it's one or the other. If I forget to charge this battery, then the 8600 Pro comes out. I'll be honest, I don't use the 8600 Pro very often, just because of the way that I have to use it. It's not as comfortable, but it is what it is. So back into the 8600, we've got the bag. The bag is really nice. It does come with a strap, but I took it off and I replaced it with these peak clips, and I'll show you why in just a second. So we'll pop this guy back in here. I don't know what I just did there. That was loud. So that comes in here. Now you guys can see this was not made for it, just because the cord goes out that way, and the way that this is set up, it only goes out the other way. So it just doesn't work, but it's good enough for me. So I zip this up, and it doesn't zip completely, but it does it good enough for me. And yeah, so that's that. You just want to make sure you turn it on before you start, because the power button is unfortunately in the bottom. Now on the 8600, I think the power button is right here. This is pretty nice, a nice little window, so if you do need to turn it off and on, you just kind of slide your finger in there and we'll get power on. And there we go, power's on. Pretty easy. Close that little window, and you know, again, we got the window up top where the cord hangs out. So this is nice and manageable. These are called the Peak anchors, and that's what I've got on everything, even my phone. And y'all can see they're just hanging off of every single little thing, because I've got Peak on everything. I'm just crazy about Peak, and all one ecosystem. I haven't even showed you yet, but even my my camera is on a Peak clip, and this is another thing about Peak. So we've got Peak clip right here. This is on my L bracket. It's not in the way at all. I do use the spider holster grip, but anyways, that's extra. So here we go. This is another anchor, and then I've got an anchor up here. This is if I were to use a strap, the same strap that I have here. So I could clip that off real fast without anything ever being in the way. This even still goes on the tripod just fine, because I don't know if y'all can see, but there's a little bit of space in here, and so it actually doesn't interfere with the mounting of the camera at all. And again, this is why I love Peak so much. If you're a wedding shooter, clip it in, you know, super top heavy like this, but I wouldn't have all of that on there if I were shooting a wedding. Anyway, so you've got that, and one thing you can do, you don't have to have these clips on how I have it on my belt. You could literally use the anchors and put the strap on that, and then you've got essentially a strap that that you can hold a camera on. You know, it just depends. Whenever I do that, I pull out more Peak stuff. Whenever I do that, I throw this guy on it, and it holds 2 lenses for Sony. And so, well, or any brand that you choose, and you can twist it around. So if you've got your 85mm, you're on a wedding, flip it over. Now I got my 24-70 right here, and I can just easily switch them out. And you just unlock it, twist it off, switch your camera, pop the old one on, and you're good to go. Switch it around. So anyways, yeah, Peak clip on here. This is Arca-Swiss compatible. It's an Arca-Swiss mount. And let's get this guy back on here. Yeah, so I'm in the garage right now, just so y'all know. And behind me, I got the V-Flat World V-Flat, which has really been nice because I don't want y'all to see my garage. It's kind of a mess. So anyways, this is back on. We're all good here. Let's go back to the 600 Pro. So we've got this. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to clip on the strap. And I keep the strap, I might have used this actually recently, so the strap might not be the right way. This is a lot of gear talk on this video, so sorry guys, but one side of this strap has a sticky kind of silicone. The other side is bare. So if you don't want it to slide, you use one side. If you don't mind it kind of moving back and forth, you'd use the other side. And that's the best part about Peak, is that you can just clip it on and off and switch that stuff very easily. So, okay. That's the first strap is on. This guy right here. Slide it on. I think I did it wrong. Kind of. Oh well, it's gonna work for me right now. So, I'll take this off too. I don't use this for real estate. That's for weddings and other events. So, okay. The strap goes on. Hopefully this doesn't mess with my mic, but there's a chance it does. So, sorry if the audio gets bad. So I got this, and then what I was mentioning to y'all is that here is the 600 Pro extension head, and you know, just like the 8400, you got, except for a bigger bulb. That's a big old thing. I'm like scared to death of these because this is like 160 bucks, and I'm just I do not want to have to buy another. This is nice because this is already set up as a Bowens mount. Whereas the 8400 Pro, you would have to literally unscrew this little ring around here just to change to a Bowens mount for an umbrella or a softbox, whatever. I guess softbox. So, you know, that's not really the best for the 8400, but for what I use it for, I just keep the beauty dish on. One nice thing about this too is that on the extension head, you have the umbrella mount, so yeah, you wouldn't have to worry too much about that. Now for me, the way that I do this, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, I am, so we'll tighten this down. I keep the stud in here. This is a 1/4-20 stud, and as I mentioned in the group, I keep this just how it is. So another one of the same things I put on the 8400. And it's just a little stud that pops into here, right? So if I wanted, and this is what I did with my 8200s as well. 8200 was on the belt also with the pistol grip. So this was maybe 10 bucks. I think it was $10 on Amazon. I know it's messing with my mic. So sorry guys. So this, real easily, I just spin that in. This is going to lock down. And there you go. It does have a little bit of maybe some kind of rubber or plastic to make sure it doesn't move once it's on. So now I have a relatively light 8600 Pro that stores on my belt when I don't need it. So yes, am I a crazy photographer that has 3 flashes on him at all times and you know, whatever? Yes, 100%. I'm that crazy guy. Does this work for me? 100%. Now, I don't always keep this on. This is a new feature with the 8400 just because that's my regular setup. But this works great for whenever I need it, and you get some extra reach out of it also, I'll mention, because when you're doing in-houses, you got this, you've got an extra maybe 4 or 5 inches here to really go all the way up and reach to the top of the ceiling. So that's nice. This is really a good little setup. I think that Adorama did a great job with the extension head here. And I think this is the easiest way for me to work personally. Now there is no hot shoe mount for this, or I might have a 600 on the hot shoe. Now it's probably too much, but just so you guys can see, you know, again, 8600, and I keep this little cord wrapped around here so it's not in the way, and the cord usually would be behind me, but I'm all tangled up here. I got too many cords around me, so anyways, it's kind of funny. But yeah, and this is also would be on C, channel C, group C. Yeah, everything's on channel 2, just because whenever I'm shooting with someone else, they always end up on channel 1. I always forget to change it, so I'm just naturally on channel 2. Why not? So yeah, here's that. This is my setup right here. We got everything we need. Camera, 8200, 860 IV, 862. I don't know. I always forget how they write that one. And then the 8600 Pro on me, or 8400 if I needed it. And really, you know, you can still mount. There's another 1/4-20 slot in here. Actually, it's a 3/8/16 mount, but I put a 1/4-20 adapter in there. You could put this on a light stand very easily. So yeah, if you guys have any specific questions about any of this, I can make another video for that if you want. If you're like, Zach, don't ever make another video again because you just talk too much, I understand. That's also fine. But does everything fit in my bag? It does. Does everything go in there comfortably? Yeah, everything fits in here perfect. And what is this bag? This is I think it's the Production Manager 30, I think. I've also got a Production Manager 50, and that thing is huge. It's right over there. Y'all can't see it. I don't want y'all to see the garage because it's a mess, but it's huge. It took up, I had to take the back seat down in this Explorer because it would go all the way into the back seat. And so this is the perfect size. I've got my 3 drones. I do have 3 drones back there. Inspire 2, Phantom 4, and Mavic 2 Pro. Yeah, I got a lot of drones, but I do a lot of drone work. So anyways, yeah, I'm just talking and talking and talking again, so I'm gonna stop now. And hopefully you guys learned 1 or 2 things maybe, or at least got some ideas for stuff that you wanna do. It is really nice to have a workflow that is comfortable for you and easy to use, easy to access, kind of modular, so you can put things anywhere, switch it out, change them up. All my cameras, all my flashes, for the most part, are on peak clips. and I've got peak clips out my ears. I've got like 30 extras, so hit me up if you need peak clips or any advice on peak. I really love that brand. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Zach, Dallas, Texas, photographyBySpross.com. That's SPROSS.com. PhotographyBySpross.com. Check me out. Thanks, guys.